Welcome to our podcast. My name is Rudy. I've been in the gym for 18 years now. Currently, I specialize in mobility training.
I'm Ace. I started going to the gym about 6 years ago. The reason I started going to the gym because of health reasons. So the gym has helped me in business, in my health, and everyday life.
On today's episode, we'll talk a little bit of my background as far as what I currently do with mobility training. We'll talk about starting at the gym as a beginner, how to ask for help if you're not sure how to ask for help, just getting started, and kind of where you should start when you first start as a beginner.
So Rudy, why don't you tell us a little bit more about mobility? Because a lot of people don't know about mobility training. So why don't you explain a little bit for the people that don't know?
Yeah, so for mobility training, for me, a lot of times, so let me just back up a little bit and little of my background. So I come from when I started lifting, I started doing a lot of powerlifting, didn't really think of mobility until about 17 years into my journey, or around 15, 17 years into my journey, I discovered mobility through actually Knees Over Toes guy, which I was scrolling on YouTube. He kind of popped up and I saw his program, ATG program. And the only reason I started mobility training was because I was in pain from the neck down from doing the powerlifting, from football, from all the bodybuilding style lifting, pushing my body till it was freaking sore as hell. Kind of all the traditional way of lifting kind of destroyed my body. So when I found the mobility type of training, that kind of opened my eyes to like, oh shoot, maybe this can work.
Right, because a lot of people don't know what mobility does. And like, especially when we're in pain, we feel in pain and we're like, oh, that's normal because I've been working hard. And they think they just keep going harder. And then it becomes a chronic illness or a chronic pain. So that's what helped you get rid of the pain.
Yeah, so once I found the mobility training program called the ATG, which now I'm certified in, through this program, I did this program Monday through Sunday for 6 months straight.
Nice.
Nothing else. And that's 6 months straight. And after that 6 months, the popping, a lot of the pain just kind of went away. So that's where I kind of had an aha moment. And I started looking on the internet. Is there anyone in my area who's certified in ATG program? Or is there anyone who really specializes in a lot of mobility work? And I really didn't see no one. So that's where in my heart, I was like, I should offer this to my community. Because
That's smart. Yeah.
Because I know I'm not the only one who has joint pain and different pains. Because coming from the CPA world, I always saw people, complaining about their backs, shoulders, or getting carpal tunnel, or having tight shoulders, tight everything, tight hips, everything's just so tight.
Right.
And they always say, and especially being a businessman, I'm sure we sit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
As a CPA, I used to sit for hours on hours on hours and hours and hours without stretching or any stuff like that.
Yeah, especially as we get older, we get more pains, like a pain that just comes out of nowhere. Like you start feeling it and then it just sits there and you're like, oh, well, that's normal. It's been there for a year now, 2 years, and you never go get checked. And if you go get checked, the doctors really don't specialize in that. So the ATG is the one that helped you.
Yeah, it helped me, and I've also seen a lot of other ATG coaches be able to help other people, whether it's avoiding knee surgeries, avoiding shoulder surgeries, avoiding these surgeries that are not necessary, that if you just move your body can kind of help rebuild the tendons and ligaments, strengthen all those things. By going full range of motion, you're able to really open the body so the muscle opens up like a vessel, so then there's more blood flow going to the knee.
Exactly.
So then the name of the game is how can we get more blood flow to our joints to heal them? Whereas most people are suffering from some kind of joint pain because of whether it's blue collar work, construction workers out there picking up lumber, freaking people out there jackhammering stuff.
So not just from the gym, it can come from anything.
From anywhere. A lot of times, especially blue collar workers have a lot of joint pain, or a lot of times they think, oh, I'm always out working out because I'm always lifting heavy stuff, but they're not doing the right movements to help their body not be so tired.
It's about warming up and all that.
Because, when they're doing that, they're just lifting stuff, not really paying attention, just kind of doing their job, right?
Right.
And not really thinking, and then they just go home, sit down, they don't stretch, they don't do nothing. So what happens when we don't stretch and we lift heavy stuff? Body gets really tight.
Right.
What causes injury and pain? tightness.
Tightness.
If we were able to open the body back up, kind of be able to create more strength in the tendons and ligaments, then all those pains, all those little aches can eventually go away.
That makes
It
sense.
takes time. A lot of times I try and explain to people, it's not like, boom, you're cured.
Right.
Some people it takes 1 month. Some people it takes a year.
Right.
People may take longer. Everyone's journey is way different. It just depends how long have you been suffering with the pain. And because a lot of times we didn't get over to this body in overnight. It took us
100%. Yeah.
maybe a decade, 5 years, couple years. So we have to reverse all of that out.
Exactly. Especially they be having pain for 10 years and like you can't get rid of it in 1 month. It might take you a little bit longer, but you'll start seeing results right away, right?
Yes, it's as far as like what I've seen with my clients, a lot of times they'll get relief within a couple sessions and kind of be like, oh, okay, I kind of start to feel better or stuff like that.
Right.
Because they're doing things they've never really done with the stretching, the mobility, especially having the right guidance. Because a lot of times, if you don't have the right guidance with a lot of mobility work, you can get hurt just like any other workout, whether you're squatting, deadlifting.
Right.
You can still get hurt if you don't have the proper technique. So it's always good to go find someone who specializes in it, get the knowledge, and they should be educating you about how and why we're doing each movement. We should never waste a movement, kind of do this or filler workouts.
Right.
We want to make sure we attend to each person as they need it. And the more we attend to the person, we can kind of get more results.
Yep.
Because a lot of times people think, oh, no pain, no gain. And I used to think that way, but that's what kind of got me to the body I had, right? Where I was in pain. Now it's all about no pain, more gains, because if we have no pain, we can push more and
Push a little bit harder.
we can be more consistent in the gym. The name of the game isn't getting as sore as possible.
Right.
The name of the game is stimulating muscle. You don't always have to be overly sore where you can barely sit down and be like, fuck, I can barely get up. Or I'm trying to go to the toilet, right? I used to be like that where I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm got to go to the restroom. Like, fuck. All right, now I kind of work out to feel good, right? Because most people work out, different people have different goals.
Right.
But now, as far as for me personally, I kind of work out just to feel good because I was in so much pain for so long and just thought that was normal. And now that I'm not in pain and 100% pain-free, there is hope at the end of the tunnel.
And I think that most people, they think that's normal when they're in pain, especially if they're pushing in hard, either at work or at the gym, and they start getting pain, and they keep pushing harder and harder. Like you said, no pain, no gain, and they think it's just normal. But my experience from the ATG, which I didn't have no knowledge of it, and then till you started teaching me a little bit, and the reason why I started doing it is I wasn't in no pain, I wasn't hurt or anything like that, but I wanted to start to bulletproof my joints as I get older and as I lift a little bit heavier. It helps me with lift a little bit heavier. Never really been in pain and don't want to get there, so I'm basically just bulletproofing myself and
Staying proactive.
staying proactive, yeah, and trying to stay ahead of the game. And but I understand that a lot of people get hurt, not just from like we said the gym, but from work and other things, yeah.
Yeah, especially having desk jobs and stuff like that. Like personally, I was suffering from a lot of carpal tunnel syndrome effects where my whole right arm would just like have electrifying, stabbing sensation in the middle of the night, and I'd wake up like arm just like on fire, and I'm like, fuck. So through the program, I was actually able to reverse the carpal tunnel syndrome. But just like you're being proactive, which is very smart. And that's why I try and preach to people, be more proactive, build your foundation. Mobility is foundational work, right?
Right.
Just like when we build a house is built on concrete foundation. It's nice and sturdy. But if your foundation is muddy, then the house will crumble. So mobility is kind of like the foundation, the concrete foundation. Make sure the foundation is nice and steady, and then start building on top of that.
Right.
But a lot of times people also have a misconception about mobility. They think it's just stretching.
Right.
No, it's yes and no. It's stretching, but it's also strengthening. The way I teach mobility is strengthening through lengthening. Strengthening the joint through full range of motion, but also stretching it.
Right.
At the same time, almost doing 2 birds, 1 stone. And then over time, by doing this, you're able to eventually have your body be able to stay open way longer. which then there's more blood flow, like we're talking. But like you, you're very proactive, and that's what I would really love more people.
Yeah, yeah, and I think what it is too is a lot of people don't know. They have no knowledge of it. Like kind of when I seen you doing all those workouts and training people for a couple months, I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't really know what you were doing. I thought you were just basically just getting them started to start going to the gym. But then I started asking you, hey, what does that do? What does that do? Because I like to know for knowledge, for myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, well, let me try it out. Let me try a couple sessions and see what it does. And it's helped me definitely with longer motion. And definitely, like I said, I wasn't hurting anything like that. But as you started telling me and I started taking that knowledge in, I started gaining more knowledge. So that's what I like to do. So I was like, all this makes sense. So yeah, I want to straighten my joints as I get older. I don't want to be hurting because how many people that they're like 50, 60, 70, and just from being old, it's meant to happen. You're going to start hurting. Yeah. So I want to be as healthy as possible, as long as possible. Because eventually we're all going to get there where, we're going to get where we can't even walk. But we want to stay healthier and painless,
Yeah, and that's the thing with mobility training. If you do mobility training for the rest of your life, you'll be able to dance into your grave.
There you go.
So you see these 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds.
Yeah, I've seen those videos. Yeah.
So they stay moving. They stay moving all their joints, right? So we always want to make sure we're always doing some kind of mobility work, or at least moving the body.
Right.
And make
100%.
sure. And the more we do that, the less risk we have of injury in the future, but also being able to enjoy life, whether you have grandkids. You want to be able to run with your grandkids.
Right.
If you're an older parent and you have kids at an older age, you want to be able to still play. You don't want to be the old parent saying, hey, Johnny boy, come over here.
Yeah.
Right? We want to be able to run with our kids, do stuff like that. Kind of enjoy life up until the end of our life. Not have to depend on someone to take care of us, right? Lose our independence. That's the one thing I think a lot of people don't realize is what we do now affects us in the future. So if you want to maintain your independence as far as being able to clean up after yourself, cook for yourself, kind of do everything for yourself, you want to make sure you do this for the rest of your life. This is more of a lifestyle change than just like,
exactly,
I'm going to just do it for now just because I want to get more flexible. It's like, no, we're trying to live a more enjoyable life, trying to feel good while we're going. A lot of times people take a lot of just bending down, coming up and down for granted, or reaching here and here for granted. You hear a lot of people pull their backs because they're like, oh, my back went out.
Right.
Because they're too tight.
Too tight.
But if they were to do some kind of stretch or some type of mobility prior 10, 15 years ago, then building the habits over time would help them reduce that risk of that chance ever happening.
Yeah. So I've seen you train anywhere from young kids to older people. There's really no age for you to start working on mobility work, right?
Oh, no, yeah. So the thing is, especially for kids, I wish I knew this when I was a kid. I wish someone taught me mobility when I was a kid because it would have helped me avoid who knows how many fucking injuries.
Right.
From ankle sprains, from knees, from hips, from pulling quads, from hamstring, ankles, shoulders, wrists, you name it all. Right. Pretty much had almost every single joint injured in my body. So this is something where kids, I believe in my soul, that kids should be doing this from a young age to help them reduce the risk of joint pain. Because even now I see kids that play baseball that get surgeries for their elbows, and that's way too young to be getting surgeries. Even for knees, I've trained kids that had bad knees, and that shouldn't be happening.
Right.
I've trained dancers with the bad knee, and it's like, why are they having these bad knees? It's because they're not being taught how to properly, whether it's properly being warmed up, properly strengthening the joints that they're going to be using a lot. But it's something I think all schools should start teaching is mobility training. So let's go ahead and start talking about fears that some people may have starting their fitness journey, especially because it's the new year. A lot of times people, new year, new me, people are like, let's go to the gym. But a lot of times people either don't know how to start or how to ask for help.
Right. Well, I think some of the fears that people have is, especially people that have never been to the gym, like it happened to me, like me to get started going to the gym, like as dedicated as I am now. When I first started going before, which I was never serious, it was just doing whatever. I didn't really know what I was doing. But I think that people's fear, what they have is they don't know what they're doing. So that keeps them from going or staying motivated. Like you said, new year, new me. And then they start going 1 week, and then the next week it starts slowing down, and the week after, because they start seeing people like working out that they've been working out for 10 years, and then they start going and they feel embarrassed to ask. I think that's what it is. They're scared to ask or ask for help to get knowledge into working out, like how to work out properly. That's most important, like which the ATG, work out properly so you don't get injured. So some people could get injured and they get discouraged, and then like they be off for a couple months, and next thing you know, the next year comes, and next year, new me again, and it's all because of fear of asking for help or looking for somebody that could kind of show them the ropes.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the case when people are starting to go to the gym, their fear.
Yeah. And the one tip I would have for people that are just starting off is, if you're scared to ask for help, just search on YouTube. Ask Google. There's a bunch of videos on there where the people are explaining different movements. Start learning about mobility first. Start learning about some stretches.
Right.
Just start. A lot of times people just don't start. People just think about starting instead of just start. Whether you just start at home, just start at home. Whether you're walking around the neighborhood, over time as you build those habits, because I think it's about, they say, to build a certain habit, it takes about 66 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just stick to going to the gym or just doing something for 66 days, over time, it's just going to start being instilled in your brain, and it's going to start becoming a habit.
Right.
And then as we build these habits, you start building on top of those habits. So first and foremost, as a beginner, if you're scared to ask for help, just YouTube, find some people who are very knowledgeable, explaining the videos. But like, say you're at the gym and you're not sure how to use a machine, I would look around the gym, and most people in the gym are pretty friendly. They may look kind of, they're working out, but most people are there that don't help you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like if someone asks me, I'm at the gym, I'll stop my workout. I'm like, oh yeah, let me help you.
Right.
Because we're all there. A lot of times I think people get in their head to where people are looking at you at all times. Like no one.
And it's not like that. Yeah, 100%.
Everyone's there for the same goal, is to be better, to get better every day.
Right.
Everyone's there to train. So if you ask them, so look around, what I would do is look around, see if he looks a little more experienced. Like, hey, sorry to bother you, but would you be able to help me with this machine? I'm very brand new, just kind of, let them know you're new, and they'll be willing to help.
Right.
Like most people will be willing to help.
Yeah.
Just like I've been asked in the gym, and I stopped my workout. Well, yeah, let me show you this, this, and this.
Right. And it's kind of how when people ask me, I always tell them, when they're about to get started, I tell them, well, just start going to the gym, do 1 month of just cardio. That way you build that habit of going to the gym. So you start going to the gym for 30 days and build that habit, consistent habit. And then from there, I tell them, if you don't have nobody you could ask, or you could ask me or whoever, or just get on YouTube, like back workouts, for 1 day. And then same arm workouts for the next day, leg workouts for the day after. But like you said, if you ask people that been going to the gym for a long time, they don't mind showing you and teaching you. If you ask them a question or two, like, hey, how do you do back? I don't know how to use this machine. That's another thing. A lot of people don't know how to use certain machines. They only use like 2-3 machines out of the whole gym. But if they ask some people, hey, do you know how to use this machine? Can you just teach me? And it takes 10, 15 seconds. And then the guy moves on, and then you could get your workout, but that's the fear they have. But I think it's more speaking out as well, and doing a little bit of research.
Just asking.
100%. Yeah. With the technology we have, like you said, YouTube. I mean, anything you want to look for, you look at YouTube, and it teaches you how to do it. Yeah.
Exactly. So then it's just getting out of our head too, right?
Right.
The fear of just asking. Just ask.
Yeah. Just like I said, let's just get started and let's get it. Yeah.
Ask, and you're like, oh shoot, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
Just like everyone, most people sometimes are even prideful to ask for help. But
right. Exactly.
You don't know, and especially if you're brand new in the gym, a lot of people are like, oh, it's like any other skill, right? you want to build upon lifting weights.
Right.
It's a skill to lift weights. You just don't lift weights
Right.
because that's what discourages a lot of beginners is they go in there thinking they can just lift weights without
Right.
building the skill of lifting weights, and then they injure themselves, and then they're like, oh man, working out just hurts me every time, right?
Yeah.
But and especially for beginners, you should never go heavy.
Yeah, I know.
Heavy.
That's what when I first started. I mean, I wasn't trying to go heavy, but even if I tried, I couldn't. So I'd be at the gym and girls be lifting way heavier than me, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm fucking embarrassed. So that's another thing. You feel a little bit embarrassed, but you just gotta stick to it and build that habit, and then like you said, do it correctly, and then start building those muscles to where you can go a little bit heavier.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's definitely another experience right there.
So another thing is for people to not judge their fitness journey to someone else.
Exactly.
Right?
So there's somebody that's been doing for 10, 15 years, and you just barely starting and never been serious about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then stuff like that, where it's just like, just focus on your journey, document your journey, and just focus on you.
Right.
Just put the blinders on, and you're doing this for your own health. You're not doing this for that, whatever. Just do it, put the blinders on, and just start working.
100%.
That's what I would tell people is just start.
Yeah.
Just start.
That's what I tell them to do. Just get started and start going. At least 30, 40 days cardio. Don't worry about lifting. Don't worry about machines. Just to build that habit first. Then once you build that habit, then you can start. And as you might even meet people there where, hey, I've just started and I've been doing cardio, and they could,
find workout.
Yeah.
Find workout buddies. Ask people, do you usually come around this time?
Right.
Would you be willing, if I come with you, whatever, stuff like that, where it's just building a network, and especially the fitness community, just ask.
Oh, yeah.
And then people,
Yeah, because the fitness community is about to help real quick.
yeah, exactly.
Especially if somebody that don't know.
Exactly.
They don't mind.
Exactly. Like for me, I'll get a bunch of DMs, and, a lot of times I've had people be like, oh, dang, like, thanks for answering my question. Like, other people in your industry would have charged me for this question.
Yeah.
I try and help as many people. I do this to actually help people, to kind of put people in the right direction and not put them towards getting injured. I want to see people excel.
Right.
Because cheering for someone and watching them succeed takes nothing out of my pocket.
Exactly.
Takes no money out of my pocket. It's more.
It makes you feel good helping somebody else out.
I'd rather applaud someone than try and tear someone down.
That way they can continue their journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially in fitness, people like start getting a little jealous here, a little jealous there, or they start comparing themselves. Like, oh, I wish I had that so and so's body, or so. And that's the one thing you just don't worry about that.
Right.
Just focus on everyday habits. Over time, you can eventually achieve the body you want.
Yeah. And I think another thing they need to focus on is their goals, because we all have different goals. So before you start going, make those goals, the short-term goals, the long-term goals, what you want to get out of the gym. Because some people, they want to do body lift. They just want to get real strong. Some people, their physique. Some people, they do it for mental health. So they don't even care, but eating a little bit better. So they just want to focus on their goals. I think that's important as you start going for somebody brand new as well. And then your goals can always change, of course. But if you focus on your goals to get started and stick to them, and then the short-term goal is going to keep you motivated to get the higher longer-term goals. So I think that's really important as well, the goals.
Yeah, especially for goals. I always tell people win the week, right? We have 7 days in a week. If we can go to the gym 4 out of 7 times, we win the week.
Right.
Every time we win the week, if we win the week at least 3 times out of the month, we win the month.
Right.
If we do that continuously for each month, we eventually win the year.
Right.
And over time, that year just keeps going and going and going and going. And then eventually you get to the body you get to.
Right.
Like for me, it took me a very long time to get to the body I have.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a lot of headaches, stressful, just not knowing, kind of just trying to figure it out on my own. And I wish I would have asked for help a lot sooner with like nutrition.
Right.
I would have just reached out to certain more people and stuff like that. So that's what I always tell, just reach out, take your pride.
Yeah, 100%. I think if I would have met somebody, or if I would have asked people when I was a lot younger, I would have started way younger. I wish I would have started when I was 18, going to the gym. But it's never late. never too late to start. So I think goal is very important.
If you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to us. I'm always willing to help.
Anything we didn't touch, any subject we didn't touch that you might be interested, feel free to reach out. Yeah.
If there's any subjects that you feel that we didn't touch here for beginners, go ahead and reach out and we can answer your questions specifically. If you have any questions about what we talked about, you want further details, then you can go ahead and message us as well. We're here to help you on your fitness journey, and stay tuned for the next episode.
And don't be scared to ask for help.
That's right.